now know 3 different ways of controlling the flow of executing in your apps: if expressions, while loops, and for loops. In this section, you'll learn about one last method of flow control: when expressions. If you've programmed in other languages, you'll find that when expressions in Kotlin have more power than you might expect. Let's take a look. Let's write a sample when statement. Here we're creating a number value set to 10. Here we are checking if the number equals 0 and printing 0. Let's copy this. Here we are checking if the number equals 10 and printing it's 10. For anything else, we are printing non-zero. Let's run this. And it's 10. Let's try an example that uses strings instead of ints. Here we've got a variable called string that has the value dog. Here we're checking to see if the string is a cat or a dog, and we're printing the animal is a house pet. Copy that. And if it's not a cat or dog, we're going to print that the animal is not a house pet. So let's go ahead and run that. And we see that dog is a house pet. Notice how we have multiple items separated by a comma. Now let's try an example that is a bit more complicated. Here we're checking to see if numbers between 1 and 9 and printing that out. Let's copy that. And now we're checking to see if it's between 10 and 20 and printing that out. If it's not in those ranges, we're printing out some other number. So let's go ahead and run that. And we can see that the number is between 10 and 20. Notice that the 10 is inclusive, and so that's why it gets the second line. Let's try a when without an argument. We're checking if the number is even and printing that out, and otherwise, let's go ahead and run that, see what happens. Remember, the number is 10, and we can see that the number is even. This when expression does not need an argument, but otherwise is the same as the one above. Now let's try using a when as an expression. Created a variable called test value and set it to 10. Here we're checking to see if test value is less than 10. Now notice how there's a squiggly line under when, and that's just telling you that you haven't completed all cases. Let's go ahead and copy that. This is checking for it being greater than 10. Here we're checking if it's not any one of those two cases. We're checking to see that we know that it's equal to 10. And you notice that the squiggly line around when goes away once you put that else statement in there. So let's go ahead and put a print statement and run it. And we can see that it's equal to 10. This when sets result to the when expression. Next, let's test your knowledge of what you just learned.